Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. We are back for the Fantasy Report on Fan for Racing Radio with Tasmanian Devil of Flaggers. Welcome to the show, Taz.
Thank you for having me, Sharon. And yeah, that's the nickname I use if you don't catch the Wednesday night Race Chat live shows. That's the nickname they've given me, and that's pretty much stuck since.
It has indeed. Okay, so we're going to do today the Atlanta Fantasy Report for the NASCAR Cup Series. And Taz has some betting stats he can put up here for us. And we're going to go over those with you to kind of get started with our first 26 Fantasy Report. And here it is.
Yeah, based upon what I've seen with the odds-wise for EchoPark or Atlanta, however you want to name or call this, very close in terms of the top three. I'm not surprised of those top three at all, although I feel like Logano may be favored a little bit more than I would expect, which I know he's won here before, and I know he's a super speedway racer because of the Ford Penske deal, but just...
Chase Elliott's our defending winner, though, right?
Yes, Chase Elliott is our defending winner, I do believe, and he is a two-time winner, nonetheless, at his home track. And then, of course, you got Ryan Blaney, who's always finding a way up front at these drafting-style tracks anyway. So no surprise there at all. There is a few I'm a little... surprised to kind of see be up here, not be up here. Larson is one of them. I swear religiously,
yes.
Super speedway drafting style tracks are not his suit. I keep swearing by this religiously, and nobody wants to buy into it until the results come. I just keep saying it, so I'm not buying him being up here so much. I think another... Denny Hamlin, I'm not surprised he's up there, but not heavily so. Atlanta's not his strong style. I know Atlanta's his drafting track, but it does race a little differently than your Daytonas and Talladegas. Brad Keselowski, he's about where I would expect it to be. A couple other notables in this factor. Kyle Busch is one I'm surprised he's down to almost the 2000s. I figured Busch would be up here with like Cindric and Byron a little bit more. I know the first couple races results don't show it, and I know last year's spring or fall race, or the second time when they went to Atlanta, he got involved in an early wreck, and that was his day pretty much. I am not surprised to see 2311 be in the mix here, both Bubba and Reddick. Reddick obviously winning the 500 last week, and of course he has won at Talladega. Bubba Wallace has always been strong in drafting super speedway style races. I'm not surprised Stenhouse is not, or I'm a little surprised Stenhouse is not a little bit further up instead of in this 3,000, almost 4,000 range. Trying to look a little bit further down, nobody really sticks out as much. Maybe Priest per this deal through the odds, but other than that, nobody really sticks out here throughout the bottom part of this list.
Okay, I wanted to put something up here with regard to Kyle Larson, because just to reinforce what you were saying there about Kyle Larson and his stats at that track. Okay, Kyle Larson's stats, okay, at Atlanta in 8 starts there. That's under the new configuration. No poles, no wins, no seconds. He has only 1 top 5 there, 1 top 10, 5 DNFs. He's led only 3 laps. No,
last lap finished.
Last lap finished 3rd. Laps led 34. His average finish at that track is 24.9. If that puts it into perspective, Kyle Larson's stats at this track. I don't know.
And I get that this style of racing, anything can happen at any given moment. I understand that, but at the same time, there's drivers who have the act for it. There's drivers who don't have the act for it. Larson, yes, he's improved in some aspects of it, but his finishes don't show the basic favor winning driver that everyone keeps putting him up to be for this. And I don't understand it, but I'll continue to religiously swear upon that one.
Yeah, I think that's a wise choice. All right, these are the box scores for Atlanta or EchoPark for the Autotrader 400 from 2005 to the present. Again, this will cover before the configuration as well as after the configuration. So that's something that you need to take into consideration here. The configuration stats go from 22 forward. So this goes from 2005 to the present. So they've got Jimmy Johnson with the highest stats here, but then Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott are right up there. Ryan Blaney's stats really are good before the reconfiguration. Chase Elliott's has been good after the reconfiguration. So
yeah, it seems like both Blaney and Elliott have figured out Atlanta, regardless of configuration. They've raced upon. Brad Keselowski is another one to note up there as well.
Yes.
I'm trying to think what else. Maybe I would say Busch is up there a bit, but I think a lot of that maybe the old style. I think Hamlin's more of the old style based upon the box score here that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I'm going to share this tab instead, where it shows the best average finish in Atlanta, at the new Atlanta, with 3+ starts. Chase Elliott's is right at the top. He's got 9.4 average finish. Ryan Blaney comes in at 1088. Allmendinger, surprisingly, 11.25, and Carson Hocevar, 11.25. Kyle Busch is up there at 13.25. Daniel Suarez at 13.88, and Ross Chastain at 14.3. So that's new Atlanta stats. Most laps led on the reconfigured go to Joey Logano and Austin Cindric. William Byron has some good stats there, as does Ross Chastain. And you mentioned Brad Keselowski and Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, again, it's looking like the same. I would guess you could say just about everything we're looking up. We're seeing Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney be two of the top guys. You can throw. I didn't realize how much of laps led that Logano's had there until that stat you just popped up. Holy Christmas! That's quite the number there for him.
Yeah, and that's on the reconfigured Atlanta. Let me see if I've got any more reconfigured Atlanta stats here. Best at reconfigured Atlanta, Joey Logano, William Byron, and Chase Elliott. They won 6 of the 8 races on the reconfigured track. They all have 2 wins at that track.
Yeah, and also noticing Blaney 4 top 5s, 6 top 10s. I mean, we're probably looking at 3, maybe 4 big names right out of the bat in just about everything we're seeing.
Yes. Most laps in the next gen car at Atlanta, Team Penske definitely goes to the top there. Joey Logano and Austin Cindric ranked first and second among drivers with laps led. And then over here, this was stage wins on the reconfigured. Austin Cindric has the most stage wins on the reconfigured track.
Again, it comes down to the Penske Ford deal that their strongest style of racing is the super speedway style races. I know there's other races that they're strong, or other races or tracks that they're strong at too, but this is, I guess you could say, they're PB&J. Like this is normal to them.
Yes, and look at the manufacturers at 129 starts, 0 poles, 5 wins, 5 seconds, 21 top 5s, 39 top 10s, and laps led at 738. But look at Penske's stats here. I mean, Ford's stats here. 113 starts, 6 poles, 2 wins, 3 seconds, 11 top 5s, 25 top 10s, and laps led 1,006.
yeah, Chevy has the upper hand and wins in seconds, but you got the poles. I mean, they're look at the laps led. They're right there. I know Toyota's trying to knock on the door. I just don't think this is a Toyota type of track at all, and that's kind of rare to see.
Yeah, it is rare to see. Seconds, Ross Chastain and Brad Keselowski have 2 second-place finishes. Ryan Blaney and Carson Hocevar, 1 apiece. I would not discount Carson Hocevar. I think he's going to be one of the dark horses here.
Oh, I'm no, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, I think with Daytona last week, I think he was into the picture late in the race for the 500. He dominated the first part of the truck race last week, so without a doubt, Hocevar will be at least a dark horse for this.
Ryan Blaney's finished top 10 in 6 of the last 7 races, but was involved in an accident on lap 57 last June and finished 40th. Kyle Busch, you mentioned him, finished top 10 in 5 of his 6 races at Atlanta with Richard Childress, his most at a track since moving to that 8 car. So this is a good track for Kyle Busch. And then we mentioned the problems with Kyle Larson. He failed to finish 5 of the last 8 races at Atlanta due to accidents. That's the most of all drivers. That's just mind-boggling. 3 of Kyle Larson's 4 top 5 finishes on drafting tracks came in the last 8 races, though. Here's Carson Hocevar. He was the #1 ranked passer in each Atlanta race since last season. Each Atlanta race last season, totaling 225 on-track passes between the 2 races, yet he failed to lead a lap in either race. That's his toughest nut to crack, is getting up to the front. The longest active streak of top 10 finishes at Atlanta is 2 races by Ricky Stenhouse and Carson Hocevar, and right there are your 2 dark horses.
Yeah, your 2 dark horse underdog drivers that have a strong act for this. More so Stenhouse and Hocevar. Hocevar is just starting to become an all-around good racer. Take minus the road courses, but that's a complete different animal.
Then we've got Ryan Blaney's Atlanta finishes since the reconfiguration. It's kind of bad, but part of the problem are getting caught up in incidents. He was in 2024, he was part of that 3/1000ths of a second finish, 3 wide with Daniel Suarez. And who was the other? Kyle Busch, yeah. So these are Ryan Blaney's Atlanta finishes since the reconfiguration. I do think he is one to consider, despite the accidents that he's had. Kyle Busch has the most top 10s at the track since joining RCR. We talked about that. We gave you Kyle Larson's stats. Iowa ranks 3rd among Kyle Larson's worst tracks. He's got 5 tracks that he cannot race at.
And Daytona's another one. I keep telling you folks.
Yes, Daytona is another one. Coda is another one. Charlotte, Iowa. Those are his worst tracks in the next-gen era. And the 2 drivers who finished top 10 in both Atlanta races last year, Hocevar and Stenhouse.
These are going to be ones to actually look at when making your fantasy picks for the week. So I would, if you don't pick them, I would at least consider them as ones to kind of pick in your list per se.
Yes. I thought about that after we started, that our news and notes this week really had some great stats that point us in the right direction here.
We can take a quick look at the iFantasyRace.com average finishes. And of course, this is based upon the next gen finishes for Atlanta. Yep, as you can see, Chase Elliott is the most recent winner. And then Blaney, who unfortunately last race was a DNF, as we saw a lap 57 crash or whatever.
Yep.
He was on a streak of top 10 finishes in Atlanta, we mentioned Carson Hocevar. I mean, back-to-back top 10 finishes last year. He's up there with that. Kyle Busch in the next-gen car. I mean, take away. I mean, he had a streak of top 10 finishes as well. Suarez is actually up there despite not having a good showing last year. I mean,
He
Suarez,
got caught up in some wrecks, I think, last year.
Yeah, by the looks of this, Suarez is checkers or wreckers.
Yes.
If you want to look at it that way.
There you go.
I'm trying to see a couple other notables. Really, Logano, again, a checker or wrecker, but when he wreckers, he wreckers. I'm trying to think what other ones we kind of look at. I know Byron had a couple wins, but outside of the wins, he struggled to perform. And as I mentioned, Hamlin, strong at super speedway races, but Atlanta is just a different animal, different track. So I'm not surprised he's not as strong as you would see him in the Talladegas and Daytonas. Trying to see about any others. Nobody really to kind of highlight. Although I do want to highlight SVG and Connor Zilic because they had, despite misunfortunes last week at Daytona, they were shockingly strong. And at one point, I think SVG led like a handful of laps during the 500.
And I have noticed SVG has been having some good runs. He ran well at Daytona.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow finds a way up there. But I don't expect. I'm not going to put high expectations on him. I'm just going to see it as don't be surprised. But you could be. I would put it as he's like surprised, but don't be overly surprised because of how much better he's improving on the ovals. And I guess you could say last week was just a stepping stone in that factor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, now next we're going to go to our fast lane. This weekend marks the 9th race on the reconfigured EchoPark Speedway, where drafting is a premium. 3 drivers, William Byron, Chase Elliott, and Joey Logano, have won twice at the hybrid super speedway, meaning the usual suspects often contend for the win. Despite that, the track tends to conclude with a thrilling finish, with 7 consecutive super speedway races being decided on last lap passes. And remember that 3 wide finish we saw there a few years ago. I think that was in 24. The must start section here, but Ryan Blaney and the number 12 Team Penske 4 selections remaining 9. Starting Blaney at a drafting track for the second straight week could be a risk, given that he finished 27th in the Daytona 500, though still banked 27 points. However, he leads the Cup Series at the reconfigured EchoPark with 6 top 10 finishes and 8 starts, and is tied for the most top 5s at 4.
Yeah, to kind of highlight that selections remaining part, that must be how many times he's picked that driver throughout the fantasy deal, because throughout the regular season you only get to pick a driver 10 times.
Okay.
So he must have picked Ryan Blaney for his team last week that counted, and it looked like he passed on Keselowski and Logano, so he's got his maximum uses for those 2. I mean, Blaney has been in just about every stat, top of the chart possible, so I'm not surprised he's throwing his name in there. Logano, based upon the betting odds and the laps led, I'm not, I guess you could say you could consider a must start, being that Penske as an organization is strong at this reconfigured track. Keselowski, I don't think he's a strong must start. Drafting tracks are his style. RFK looked strong as an organization last week. And I know Brad Keselowski has had some strong showings in Atlanta. So
he's got a pair of runner-up finishes and 8 starts there.
Yeah, so I'm okay with the must start. I don't see him as like a very like strong like top 2, maybe 3, but I would say he's a good one to consider.
Oh, okay. And here we've got all of them racing here. Okay, drivers to avoid. Let's take a look at that. Driver Kyle Larson, we've said the same thing. Avoid Kyle Larson. You've seen all the stats there as to why you should. And then Chase Briscoe. After one race, all four JGR drivers are outside the top 25 in points. Unfortunately for Briscoe, it might not get much better this week as he's never finished better than 15th in 8 starts at EchoPark's reconfigured track. He has failed to finish 3 of the last 4 races there. So 2 drivers you'd normally think about putting on a must-start list, but this week, avoid them.
The comment of all JGR drivers outside the top 25, honestly, that's nothing to be panicked about or worried about. I mean, I would say 3 out of the 4, and one of them we're seeing is Chase Briscoe.
Yes.
They're so strong. I mean, shoot, Briscoe and Hamlin. Briscoe was shockingly to me was one of the better cars in terms of raw speed, anyways, last week. So
yes.
I mean, I would say 3 out of the 4 outside of the top 25. I would say don't expect them to stay there. Hamlin's going to run strong no matter what. He's pretty good at just about every track except for, I would say, this one and the road courses. Briscoe, I mean, take away super speedway results. He's getting to be a good all-around racer.
Yes.
Christopher Bell is getting better at super speedway races. He's practically an all-around driver. Ty Gibbs is just, I'm going to say, the back marker of this deal.
Okay, let's move on. And there you have the 2 cars that they're suggesting we don't go with. And then the sleepers of the week. I'm surprised that he doesn't have Ricky Stenhouse on there. He's got Daniel Suarez instead.
I'm a little surprised, but you know what? I like the Suarez deal. He's won here in that 3-wide snafu that happened a couple years, 2024, I think that was what it was. But he has 4 top 5s according to that. I mean, tied with Blaney for best in the series in the 8 races they've done at the new configuration. I mean, 3 of those top 5s being a first or second. So, like I said, although he did point out he's failed to finish both races last year due to crashes. Suarez Suarez is going to be a risky pick so checkers or wreckers with him. Hocevar, I mean, hey, pretty good solid contender for this one.
As I believe that another solid contender is Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Oh, I fully agree with that right there.
Okay, now the featured matchups this week. Tyler versus Chase Elliott. He picked Elliott, full transparency. Elliott could be listed as a must-start since he's the series' most recent victor at his home venue, but Reddick, this year's Daytona 500 winner, does have 3 finishes of 6th or better in the last 6 EchoPark races, but Elliott's 9.14 average finish leads all drivers at EchoPark. I'm going to go with Chase Elliott.
I'm all for Chase Elliott as well. The only thing I think that made me consider Reddick is 23XI as an organization, coming off a 500 win. They're strong, and it seems like they got something for super speedways a little bit. I know it's more on the Bubba Wallace than the Tyler Reddick, so I think that's where I'm kind of hitting the back pedal on that. So I'm okay with going Chase Elliott on this one as well.
Okay. Riley Earps versus Brad Keselowski. That's kind of an interesting one because I don't think Brad was very happy with Riley last week.
This isn't even a matchup. What is this?
I don't know. Coming off his best career finish, Earps is a formidable super speedway competitor, scoring all 3 of his career top 10s in the draft. Keselowski is arguably the best super speedway driver of this generation, though as his 7 drafting track wins are the most among active drivers. He picks Keselowski. Who do you pick here?
Without a doubt, Keselowski. Earps just got lucky last week.
That's my pick too. Okay, next up we got Carson Hocevar versus Chris Buescher. His pick is Hocevar. He says, Buescher's no slouch at super speedways, finishing 7th at Daytona. He also has a pair of top 10s in the last 4 Atlanta visits. There's something about Hocevar here that's appealing, as his aggressive style has proved effective recently with 4 top 10s in the last 6 drafting races. Don't be surprised if this is the week when he breaks through to victory lane.
Oh, to me, looking at all 4 of these matches, I think this is the highlight. This is the matchup of the week. Both drivers got it for super speedways. Both have a good argument. Being that this track's gets 2 visits again this year, right? On the schedule?
I believe so.
Okay, usually, and that's where usually RFK, if I got to look at the average finish part, because I want to say RFK as a whole finishes better in the second trip than in the first trip. What I just said pretty much proved my point after looking at Buescher's stats. So I will go Hocevar on this one.
Okay, you're going to go Hocevar. That's who I circled as well. He's had difficulty getting past. He's really good at passing, except for first place. We covered that in the other notes. But I think he could have a breakthrough here.
Yeah, he very well could. It's just a matter of time for him.
It's just a matter of time. Okay, next up we got Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell versus Zane Smith. He picks Smith. McDowell nearly stretched his fuel tank to win the Daytona 500, but it was Smith who won the opening stage. Smith flies under the radar at drafting tracks, posting 3 top 10s in the last 4 races. So who's your pick here?
I picked McDowell, but looking back at the iFantasy race average finishes, Zane Smith in the last 2 finished 7th and 11th. McDowell finished 18th and 13th.
That's a tough one.
But yeah, I'm still going with McDowell.
Okay, I'll deviate this time. I'll go with Zane Smith. Okay, now his lineup is starting 5 are Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Austin Cindric, and Carson Hocevar.
I'm going to go with, he's got Blaney, okay. I took him. Logano, okay. Keselowski, I don't know. I feel like I may have to leave Keselowski off this deal. He's got Cindric too, okay. Got a solid case. Hocevar, solid case. He's going to put Busch in the garage. I like his lineup, although the Brad Keselowski one kind of concerned me a bit for his end, if it were me anyways. I'm going to throw a tip of the cap here, and I'm going to throw in my top 5, I'm starting Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, and I'm throwing in a Trackhouse guy and Ross Chastain, believe it or not.
Yes, I agree.
He's looking at his first trip to Atlanta each year versus the second trip to Atlanta. He performs. It's a night and day difference. The first trip to Atlanta, he's finished 2nd, 13th, 7th, and 8th, compared to the second trip each year is a 2nd, 35th, a 13th, and a 33rd. So I'm going to throw Chastain into the mix. Hocevar will be sitting in my garage.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's see what I can do. I think I'm with you on a lot of these. I've got Blaney and Logano, Elliott, Kyle Busch, and Chastain. I'm going to go with those 5 as well. I have Blaney, Logano, Elliott, Kyle Busch, Chastain, and you put Hocevar in the garage. I'm going to put Stenhouse in the garage just for kicks. Instead of I'll put Chastain in the garage.
And you're going to put Stenhouse in.
And I'll put Stenhouse in.
All right.
Okay. So there you have it. Our picks for this week. All right. I think it's going to be a fun race to watch. I love the reconfigured Atlanta racetrack. I think it's given us better racing. And, I think about that 3-wide finish. I wouldn't be surprised if we have another one.
Oh, man. I remember that finish like it was yesterday. And just how I reacted. It literally, how I reacted was kind of like taking little 5-year-old into like the candy store or the toy store and just going nuts over everything.
Yes, exactly right. I want to do that again this weekend. I want to see another 3-wide finish, and it's not going to surprise me if it happens. I'm just going to say.
Yeah, it's not going to be surprising either if that will happen.
Okay.
I think we came close to it last year, 1.2.
Yes, we did. It was.
I think Larson was in the middle. I think Larson was in that one though.
Was he really?
I think so.
That's kind of surprising.
Because I remember your stat sheet saying he finished second or third in the one. I think it was last year.
Yeah, that could have been last year. I think his more recent finishes have been better, but we'll see what happens. I just don't have a lot of faith in him. I think he's another checkers or wreckers, and he comes in second at the checkers. Okay, so I think we've done it, Taz.
Yeah, we got through it the first week. We missed last week, so that's okay. But I think we're okay with this one. I think we did good with the return of this.
Okay, do watch for more. Taz, you want to talk about your Race Chat Live on Wednesday?
Yes. Be sure to subscribe to Fan for Racing Radio. Of course, Sharon and Jay have a bunch of previews and review shows they got for them, along with Sal doing his interviews. But also Wednesday nights, you'll see me with Race Chat Live with my good friends Chris Creighton and Mr. CJ Sports as we break down some of the biggest topics throughout the week and give our intakes and bring a colorful flavor with us three into the mix. That's all we got to say.
We call that the adult version. And then Jay and I do the G-rated version on Monday nights with our NASCAR Hot Topic Sound Off right after the race weekend. So they catch the midweek stuff that comes up, which is really good. I like that we've got two kind of hot topic conversations throughout the week. And we're glad to bring Chris Creighton, Taz, they were with us last year, but to bring CJ Sports into the Fan for Racing fold this year is a real plus.
Yeah, and of course, make sure you also on Facebook, you follow Fan for Racing, of course, and you also want to follow 110 Nation Sports and Race Chat Live, as we will follow all of those outlets just so you can see what kind of content we come up with and release, and also find links to our shows each and every week.
Yes, bear with us though, because I'm still on a learning curve. We are simulcasting our stream, especially the live streams, which would be the Hot Topics and the Race Chat Live. Those would be simulcast between the Facebook page, Fan for Racing blog and radio, and 110 Nation, along with YouTube. So we're actually getting quite a few views from Facebook by doing that. So I really thank you guys for bringing that to my attention. And I've kind of bundled my way through to figure out how to get it done. But we're still on some learning curve there. For some reason, it did simulcast on Wednesday night, but when afterwards, it seems like the stream disappeared on us on Facebook for Race Chat Live, and I'm not sure why that happened. The live stream was simulcast.
Yep, and just again, follow our pages, like, share, also subscribe to Fan for Racing Radio for all your racing content needs. There's always something up just about every day of the week.
Yes, indeed. Also, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We do appreciate all of our subscribers. We hit a milestone this year, Taz. We're now at 102 subscribers on the YouTube channel, which is fantastic. I've got over 500 subscribers on our Facebook page. I also posted over at Twitter, not the live portions, but the links to the live portions. But yeah, I just want to tell you, we also post the links over at Twitter. I do not do the live stream on Twitter, but we do the live stream between Facebook and YouTube. So you can catch that with us. And like Taz says, we are now posting something just about every day of the week. We do the recaps over the weekend on on our website, fanforracing.com, we do the reviews along with our Hot Topic Sound Off on Monday night. And then we do a midweek topics discussion with Race Chat Live and the three guys. And then we're here with the Fantasy Report on Fridays. And Jay and I do the previews usually between Wednesday and Thursday, and get those posted between Thursday and Friday. So today I've got the Truck Series preview up. I've got the O'Reilly preview up, and the Cup Series along with our Fantasy Report will go up today. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, I'm going to say thank you for watching us, and encourage others to join in and subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate that.
I thank everyone for listening, and enjoy the race weekend.
We'll see you on the other side of the weekend. Take care, everybody.